I'm happy to see everybody, the entire hall almost being full. I know the time I'm doing some work in Nepal, there's a saying, Suraj Ast, Aadmi Mast. But that's the Nepal, and we have a lot of people from Nepal. I don't want to keep you away from your masti, but the tradition is that at this we have always been following this tradition. We have never indulged ourselves in giving awards or setting up awards, or because people even say that Amitabh Bachchan and Shah Rukh Khan have been buying awards. So we have kept away from that controversy, but we have certainly maintained the tradition of honoring people who have contributed very significantly for the hospitality industry in India. So to give this first award, I would first call upon Mr. K.V. Kachru. He will be giving away the award. So Mr. K.V. Kachru, please join us. Mr. Kachru has been the mentor for us, and he's been the biggest stalwart of the hotel industry in the country. And his contributions to hotel industry goes beyond words. Mr. Kachru has been kind enough to accept this invite from us to give this award. Now, our first award is for a person who actually did some engineering from the best institute of the country, then management, and then got into the hotel industry. And he set such records and standards which is like unsurpassed by anybody else in the country so far. Unimaginable work who started with a very unique concept, because there was a luxury segment which was filled up by the Oberois and the Tajes and the ITCs. He was the only visionary who realized about India, and he started with this budget category, and he took it to be a level which is far bigger than anybody else in the country. I would, from that perspective, I think his contribution for the hospitality industry is immeasurable, and it is our honor to have him here and to honor. May I invite Mr. Patu Keswani on the stage to receive this award. I request K.V. Kachru to say a few words about Mr. Patu Keswani.
I didn't know this, this was coming. I can only say I'm privileged to be part of an evening where one of the doyens of the industry is being facilitated. He actually proved to many, including big brands, that here what can work is make in India. He has done it, he has proved it, and he deserves everybody's appreciation. I've known him as a friend. I've known him when he actually started being not directly from a hotel school, but he is, if I may say so, better than many of us, who has proved his worth, established a brand, a successful brand, starting, I think his earlier concept was probably budget. He moved to economy, he's moving to premium and further. Congratulations, Badu. Thank you so much for coming and accepting this award.
May I request Mr. Patu Keswani to share some of his experiences so that our audience also becomes wiser with this experience.
I didn't know this included me saying a few words, but hello everybody, and thank you for the very kind words. I think we've all experienced similar stuff in the last 2 years. So I started Lemon Tree in 2004, the first hotel. And obviously, as you heard, there were no actually branded mid-market hotels in India. And 80% of supply in India was branded supply was 5-star hotels. So Imagine as an analogy if there was a sector like the airline sector where 80% of the seats are business class. So there should be a lot of demand for economy or equivalent in the hotel sector, and that's simply what we wanted to target, which is try and create a brand, a standard brand that meets the needs of Indians who, as we all know, which is our biggest challenge and our biggest opportunity. There is great volume, but at the right price. So that was the thought process that we built it. But I think when I reflect back, I'm so happy to see the majority of the Indian hotel sector today, because there are so many mid-market brands, there are so many management companies, there is so much institutional ownership of hotels, so it bodes very well for our sector. The other two things I would broadly talk about is that we went through the longest, most prolonged bottom of cycle period, our business, from 2009 to 2018. And just when we were coming out, we got hit by COVID. And for all of us to sit here and to still smile about it speaks phenomenally about the resilience of our industry. And it makes also me feel good that we belong to a sector which created so much employment and came out scarred but stronger. So what are the big learnings of COVID is really, I think we've all become super cost effective, and that benefit we will now be able to pass on to our customers. Though I keep urging my colleagues, my peers, Mr. Kachru, others in the sector, that the next 4 years is going to be, in my opinion, a golden period like 2004 to 2007. And it would be a real shame if we did not double our pricing in the next 12 to 18 months. So that's how I'm thinking about it. Thank you once again.
I just assumed that everybody would know. Just wanted to say this again. Mr. Patu Keswani is the chairman and managing director for Lemon Tree Hotels in India, and he also supports the deaf and the underprivileged people, the specially abled people in his hotels, and that's a great effort that he does. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Keswani. Thank you, Mr. Kachru. To give the next honor award, I would like to invite on stage again one of the most accomplished hotelier who has been with the Oberois and he worked with Lemon Tree. I would invite Mr. Ratan Keswani on the stage to give the next award. Ratan has been with the Oberois for a long time, and then he worked with a lot of other industries. While he was recently, he worked with Mr. Patu Keswani also for his company for a long time, set up the management, and helped Lemon Tree grow to what height it is. Please, Mr. Keswani, have a seat. To the next award also goes to the person who has been one of the longest serving. I mean, they always say that in the film industry, the stars come when they work for 4 years, 5 years, 6 years. But this person has been working in the industry for almost 35 years now. He's in Stalwart and he's been there and he's still working, and he's working very successfully, providing services, and the people really appreciate working with him. Ex-Oberois, Taj, a lot of hotels experience. Please, may I call upon stage Mr. Deepak Sareen to receive this honor from AiM. There's more? 55. Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't realize it. I didn't realize that. Okay. He's been working in the industry for 51 years. I thought if I would say more, he might say that you're making me old. All right. May I request Ratan to say a few words about Mr. Deepak Sareen?
Good evening, everybody. Very honored to present the felicitation to to Mr. Sreen. But before I give details on Mr. Sreen, I'll share some personal experience about him. Mr. Sreen was my first boss when I graduated from the Oberoi School of Hotel Management. I joined Bombay as an assistant front office manager, and Mr. Sreen was resident manager. And for some of you familiar with the Oberoi school system, managers were very scary guys. Fairly supercilious, they only smiled at the guests or at Mr. Oberoi. They were always supposed to be 5 feet 11 inches tall and more than that, that's how I would remember. And then going into Oberoi Towers was always a very daunting experience. But so that's we walked in there, our first introduction was to Mr. Sreen. So, lots of things are getting breached here when I'm saying that. And he was just totally different from how the senior managers were epitomized, were in my head. Very, very approachable, always smiling, energetic laughs that you could hear in the corridors. If he ever wanted to berate you, it was always in his office. If he wanted to, praise you for your accomplishments, you always made sure that it was in public. And some of you, Mr. Kachu, and then after that, would remember there was something called transmittal slips. You remember transmittal slips? So for some of the younger ones, which had little pads, right? The senior managers, of course, the from had their name. So obviously Mr. Sreen, it was from Deepak Sreen. And the two was to anybody that was going to. All of us had from and two to be blank. The scariest thing was that to get a transmittal slip from him, and that will only say 2 words, and that too in short form. Please speak. And the please speak was PLS SPK. Nothing more than that. Now you didn't know, and you never knew till Mrs. Sreen left from there. Whether please speak meant you would have called him directly. Did please speak meant call my secretary, ask for appointment. Did please speak mean I need to go at certain point? But he never said about what. He never said about what time. He just said PLS SPK. So then you had to call the secretary. So look, I've got that transmittal. That transmittal slip, which was famous one. And then all secretaries, as some of you would remember, were more difficult people who keep you sweating and waiting for a couple of hours before she told you he wants to see you. And that was scary. But the good thing was, as a competition amongst us, we used to keep these transmittal slips in our little record, all managers. And we used to kind of tally each other's. So if you had more transmittal slips than the other, which meant that you were not the better person amongst the two. Because the lesser meant you were doing a good job. So that was the appreciation that we counted on from Mr. Sreen. So that's why my memory, and after that we've been in touch in various avatars over various periods of time. So let me read something about him. Mr. Deepak Sreen is a qualified hotel professional with long-standing experience in the hotel industry and spans more than 51 years. He has exceptional credit of having been employed by the finest trailblazing hotel chains in India, Oberoi, Taj and IDC hotels. He's had some key responsibility, portfolios, positions of CEO, president, director, vice president of operations, projects and development. His in-depth understanding of market practices in the industry has endowed him with his current status of being a well-regarded hospitality advisor and consultant. His well-known experience enables him to conduct evaluations, appraisals, planning and execution for hospitality from the early stage of inception till commissioning of the operation. He pairs hotel brands with operators of technical management services. His industry experience is quite vast. He has worked in London, Morocco, Kathmandu. I won't give you all details. Sanaa, Dubai, Tashkent, Samarkand, Zambia, Bangkok. He was born in Japan, he speaks fluent Japanese. He set up Taj Mansingh, Krishna Oberoi, full-time responsibility last of COO of the JH Interstate Hotels, hospitals, healthcare, name it, he's done it. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Mr. Deepak Sreen.
So, it's a very extremely happy that, that the AiM has honored me. Thank you, Mr. Kaul and Mr. Sharma. And thank you for the generous introduction with your jokes and for the kind words. So I'd also like to congratulate other awardees for the recognition they have given to AiM. And now I have a deep regard. Well, actually, when you mentioned about Krishna Oberoi, I just remembered that I recognize Sanjeev Pao when he came in, and Siraj, Renu, and Ramesh Paul. I met them in Hyderabad when I went there. So there are 4 who knew me at that period of time. I have deep regard for the fraternity and for all those renowned architects, interior designers, facility planners, engineers, and all those who helped me in my journey for all these years. At this juncture also, my thoughts also go to how I have reached this level with my illustrious mentors, the senior figures in the hospitality industry, including Rai Bahadur Oberoi, Mr. Vicky Oberoi, Mr. Gautam Khanna, Mr. Ajit Menezes, and Mr. Kiran Shah, Mr. Harpal Singh, Mr. Kiran Shah from Thailand, when I was with him, Mr. K.B. Singh, Mr. Rajiv Singh, and Mr. H.P. Rama of THM Interstate. And over these decades of my career, one thing is clear to me, which I can mention to you, that life is not smooth sailing. I think for Patu Keswani, I think he's had a great sailing life, of course, with ups and downs and all that. There are bound to be turmoils while pursuing success. I've been through my various fair share of stormy weather and trying to ride the waves in a steadfast manner and all. And, I should never, I like to also mention that you should never be apprehensive to take on new assignments from, when the company gives you new assignments. In the Taj, I recall when I was with Mr. Kerber at that time, I think I was one of the very few people who would just get the transfer or wherever he give an assignment and all, and he would say, okay, you go there, the next day, next hour, I'll be there. And during the course of my career, in my professional circumstances, has moved me to 6 countries and many relocations, maybe 25 residences. There, of course, is a price to pay. My daughter and son had to we had to enroll them in the boarding school. Success also comes when your child is spirit of optimism and thinking for the box. And our industry is such that we have to be close-knit, we are in close fraternity, we are a small world. And I can recall an incident when I was in Bangkok. I was representing the owning company and we had signed a contract with the operators. And there was apprehension in the company that this contract with the Singapore company may not happen, but it just so happened. And it turned out to be a colleague of mine, colleague of mine who you know, who was the number 2 of mine, who was the second in command in Hyderabad. It happened to be that he was the CEO of that company, and then we had no problem in signing the contract. What I'm trying to say basically is that we should maintain our connections, contacts, and wherever we can use them, we should be able to use them very effectively. You might ask the question, how I stumbled into the hospitality industry actually. After my MBA, I had 4 offers in hand, different industries. I went to my neighbor, who was the regional manager of Air India, and I asked him, which industry should I join immaterial of the number of hours? Which is the industry I should join in which in the short possible time I will grow in the company? And of course, practically the response, hospitality industry. That's how I joined the senior management training program of Oberoi Hotel, the first of its kind in the Oberoi. I really enjoy, people-oriented industry. That's why I keep emphasizing maintaining relationships as it comes as a natural priority to me. Our industry is dynamic and ever evolving. And like we were discussing, the day-to-day, that from my days of switchboard operators and waiting racks and all, navigating algorithms and artificial intelligence. Just imagine how this is involved. Each phase has been so interesting how we have evolved. And recently I was reading in the Architect Digest, Elon Musk may plan a hotel in space. The Voyager station hopes to plan with SpaceX, and its aim is to send passengers to the first ever space hotel in 2027. Who knows? This may become a reality. So what I would say is let's dream big and put our energies together for the continued growth of the hospitality industry and future development. Well, cheers to all of us. Enjoy yourself. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Satan. Thank you very much, Mr. Deepak Sareen. Now, I would like to call upon stage one of my friend Rasper guide, and also a very, very close friend. And my first hotel where I did was under him only, and I've been his friend all this time, and he's been helping AiM also in a long way. Ex-Oberoi, he actually got a lot of Oberoi school guys, one of the best hotelier and best managers that I've ever come across, who understands architectural drawings and designs as well. May I call upon the stage Mr. Rakesh Mathur to give this honor. Thank you, Mr. Mathur. The next on this award has to go to the person who has been in the West, starting with the West, and the first time ever he came up with this sustainable hotel architecture concept. That was one of the most amazing things to ever come across, and he found a bracket for the hotels which were like the most sustainable, eco-friendly eco-hotels, and he actually gave it the name of the eco-hotel. That was a very good concept way back in the early 90s, I think around that time. And he has been in the hospitality industry for a long time, he served this industry, and is still very active, continuing with his hotel brand first. May I call upon stage Mr. Param Karumpalli to be received this award. May I request Mr. Mathur to introduce Mr. Karumpalli to us.
First and foremost, Anil, thank you very much for allowing one senior citizen to honor another senior citizen. Well, Param's citation, I'll just briefly go through it before I embark upon my journey with him. Param is a fellow of the Institute of Hospitality, London, fellow of the World Academy of Productivity Science. He was awarded fellowship to the Academy of Productivity Science. He was conferred the United Nations Global Futures Network Award, a UN affiliate. He did his post-graduation in hotel management and catering technology from Mumbai. He is currently a co-opted member of the Executive Committee of FHRAI for 2022-23, as well as co-opted member of the Executive Committee of HRA Western India, appointed co-chairman of Travel, Tourism and Hospitality Committee also. Of course, we all know that Param launched in 1996 Concept Hospitality Private Limited, but his name is synonymous with the birth of Ecotel, the hallmark of environmentally sensitive hotels. And then, of course, he launched Fern Hotels and Resorts, which currently manage 88 properties, clubs, and service apartments in 72 locations, including Nepal and Seychelles, by the way. He has received the Lifetime Achievement Award at the Hospitality Leaders Industry Choice Awards conducted by IDE Global in May 2019. And under his leadership, Fern's Hotels and Resorts have won more than 200 national and international awards. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is his professional achievement. My started as an acquaintance with Param, started in Bombay. I was based there for a couple of years. I meet him socially, I meet him on professional get-togethers. But I really got to know him much better in the year, I think, 1995 onwards, when I was heading the IHG for South and West Asia. And I remember Param rang me up and we had a property, and he was very keen to tie up with the IHG either for the Holiday Inn or the Crown Plaza brand. And we had a meeting. Now, whatever transpired is not relevant, but it was at that time that I came to know Param very well. And Param, I must share with you that a lot of the inspiration behind us establishing the Ecotourism Society of India, which is now the Responsible Tourism Society of India, came from when, after you launched, and it came from you actually, the inspiration, after your properties you had brought. It's not that the organized industry was not conscious of the environment. There were practices, but he brought it out. Param sort of projected it and made it a buzzword that we should be conscious of the environment in the conduct of our business in the hospitality industry. So I think you actually inspired myself and Mandeep Soin and all of us to then set up the Ecotourism Society at that time. So with these words, I'd like to thank you, and I'd like to congratulate you for a very, very well-deserved honor, not an award. And it's been great knowing you, and it's been an honor for me to be able to present the award to you. Thank you.
May I request Param to please share his experience with us to make us a little wiser.
Thank you again. And thank you, Rakesh. Before I share my experience, the first thing I must thank you all for honoring me. And certain colleagues, certain professors of mine who have helped me along was Madam Tanga Philip, late Madam Tanga Philip, late Mr. Pesi Shaw, and then professionally Mr. S.K. Mukherjee, who is a professor and based in Goa right now. He's also helped me a lot. The idea of an environmentally friendly certified hotel came to me because I said, if I ever wanted to start a group and manage a number of hotels, it has to be something unique. Like Mr. Patu went into the budget stage initially, I decided, okay, let's take the environment. Then I studied it. And then we were able to create a hotel which used the least amount of energy in any flow, water, electricity, every aspect of it, least amount of this thing money was spent in trying to make the guests happy. And this was all done without the guest participation. If the guest wanted to participate, he was willing to participate. But otherwise it was done without him. I'm grateful for my colleagues who have stood by my side, because starting a management company is not easy. It's just not easy. And they were very tough times. And they stood with me. And most of them are still with me.
I'm grateful to my family because when you're running a business it's not doing very well, you're irritable at home. And they took it on their chin. My son, Suhail, has now stepped in and taken the responsibility, which I'm very proud of. He's done much better than me. And thank you all, and the organizers and the panel for honoring me. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mathur. Thank you, Paran.
Thank you.
High AiM is about architecture, interior design, and managers. So we've so far never forgotten to honor the technical people also, hoteliers and technical guys. Now, to give this award, I call upon stage my closest friend, one of a very good friend, and we've done a lot of work together. I think he's one of the best interior designer this country has produced, and he's done some amazing works, not only here but internationally, and very acclaimed interior designer, Bobby. Can I call upon stage Mr. Bobby Mukherjee to give this honor? I have known this friend who's been as maybe 51 years experience in the hotel industry. I think maybe this guy would be older than that in terms of his experience. Architect, interior designer, environmentalist, you name it, and he's done all kind of works. And very interesting person, and a very good company, and a very good friend. Always jovial. He loves his playing with me, and he has always been a great company and done some amazing works down south, all over India. I call upon stage to receive this award, Mr. Shiraz.
Wow.
I love the time that I spent in Pune when I did my first hotel. There was a pub, which was called 10 Downing Street. And I used to always wonder who had designed it. But when I met him, now I remember it was him who inspired me. All right. Can I, Bobby, would you like to say a few words about
Shiraz and Renu. I did my education in the from late 80s to mid 90s, and at that time, as an architect, you can design so many things, but there was a lot of press coverage and magazine articles of the projects that were constantly printed in those days. And in my college library, I would often go through these magazines, and your name always came up. And so it was a big inspiration for me at that time. You had two more colleagues at that time. One was, I think, Chandrasekhar Kanetkar and Prakash Mandre, I think. And Mr. Sarajit Singh. They were the absolute stalwarts in the industry of design, in hospitality, and they were huge inspirations too. So it's an honor that we get to honor this to you. And thanks for having been there, and you've done so well, where you have made over, I think, close to 70 hotels in your career, and a lot of F&B outlets as well. Also big real estate projects of perhaps more than 35 million square feet or more. That's very, very credible. Numerous press articles in magazines also in all these years from then till now. So, an honor, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Bobby. A lot of architects and interior designers sitting in the audience also. need to learn from your experience. Shiraz, would you like to share, give some tips to these new aspirant architects and interior designers, please?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and fellow architects and interior designers. First, a big thank you to Anil sir. I'm forgetting her name. Is her name Anil? You sure? Sorry. Romesh and Anil. And to have considered us worthy of this great privilege and honor, which we should always cherish and encourage us to do more and better. Now, we started our career, Renu and I, and set up an office in Hyderabad. Way back, and I won't take much of your time, but a little interesting incident here and there as to how, like people were also saying, that, you know, the struggle, there are trials, there are trials and tribulations in one's career, and particularly in architecture, because, you know, those days, in the early 80s, I was in Hyderabad. And most of the people didn't know the definition of interior design. What an architects they knew, they were all about 4 architects in Hyderabad. Nobody would actually, you know, that the culture was not there. They hadn't, and there was no, you know, recognition of our profession actually, which was unfortunate. And the awareness was not there. And when I used to work, I trained in Delhi for about 2 years, and I went to Hyderabad when I got married and set up this firm. And when I was in Delhi, the only hotel that was there, the new one, was the Oberoi, and I loved it. And I couldn't afford it because about 4 to 6 days down the salary, which was amount to about 350 rupees, I would finish off everything and go to Bengali market and have my chana bhatura. So I was very enamored of hotel design. I used to go and sit in the Oberoi, see this, that, very enamored. And then I was a young guy, and then I said, I want to see the room. I said, my brother is getting married. Oh, brother, go Hyderabad. I said, yeah. In our family, yeah, of course, I'm going about son of an army man. I said, yes. Then she opened up, no, the street, I was great kid. Whatever happened, then I got back to Hyderabad and started the struggle. I used to do furniture. We did furniture design, and we used to do beautiful Scandinavian furniture. And the people are still living with that. And then I realized that we must get into architecture. There was a hotel being built, which was our first 5-star job, called the Dolphin in Wildlife. So I was going with a friend. It belonged to Mr. Ramoji. So I was going on a riding period with this. I said, hey, Ricky, what is this? He said, we are building this hotel. I said, get me this project. Who will give you the bloody project? You're mad or something if you can't get this project. Right? I said, no, they contacted Delhi people. So I'm sitting in Delhi. I trained in Delhi. I said, look, Milao. Well, that happened then. One fine day, I heard that the work had started and stopped and something like that. So someone said, Mr. Ramoji wants to meet you. Mr. Ramoji, he said, what? He said, no, they're building hotels, they want to consult you. I was thrilled as punch. I said, wow, man, when? I knew somebody who was working there, the same guy. And I went there. They said, no, you can't see him now. He's very busy, but, you know, this hotel is there. There's a landscape restaurant to be done. I said, I know landscape design. I can only do architecture. No, what he wants to see. And he said, whatever, he cut the long story short. I did that landscape design, a very elaborate design, everything, some new stuff going on. Showed it to him. So he said, this one was very good. I want to meet you. Got him to Wildlife. I went to Wildlife. And I saw that hotel. It was just a framework was done. He said, you want to see the mock-up room? I showed it to him. And I speak from my heart. He showed it to me. And they're scared of Ramoji. Ramoji are coming there. Everyone will sit like this and stand like that. So they showed me the room. So everyone said, how do you ask him? I said, a terrible room. I said, sir, I'm sorry, but it's a terrible room. He said, can you die design better than this? I can. He said, but I want it in 3 days. Went back to my hotel, bought my tracing paper sheets. I did the sketches and everything. 3rd day, I'd make a presentation to him. Very good. He did that. He made that. Then again, he called me. He said, you design this whole hotel. I said, yes, design the whole hotel. So he got that job. And that was our first foray into big hotels, which we took for a handsome sum of about 38,000 rupees. He's been a mentor, guide, and after that, of course, there were trials and tribulations, there were struggles, and anybody, any architect, when you work in an office, is a good experience. But when you start on your own, and for the youngster, I must have a word of advice, which will go a long way in your career. Another small example, I think 8.5 minutes. So these people come to me, these boys. When you ask them basic questions, they cannot answer. I mean, due apologies. I may have met the wrong people, but when I ask them what is the GFC? I think don't know what GFC is. What is this you designed? He said it's a hotel restaurant. I said, well, what would it cost me? I don't know. What are you doing, man? So I realized that then what happens is these people, they want to just break away. No, we do it, my father knows this, and they establish practices that they fumble. And believe you me, when you're doing that, when anybody, youngsters are doing that, they're paying a lot of, they're taking a lot of chances with other people's money. I mean, if it is a wrong design, hotel design is not, you have to know hotel design to do hotel design. So I always tell these youngsters, you're all architects. I mean, if you go and see the Burj Arab, or the Burj Arab, what is called, 800 meters. I said, when you have to design a tall building, you have to go down first. Go down to the ground, dig your foundations, whatever, 200 meters, 300 meters. Then when you come up, you won't crack. You'll be a success. So that is my mantra to all the youngsters. Give some time in training, work with people. Then when you're sure, then come up. It'll be good for everybody. That's why the board. Thank you for coming very much. It's a great honor. As honored as I'm privileged to hear this. Thank you. May I call my managing director? When I was talking about this, trials and tribulations, I'm reminded of Khalid Sheikh. Gham se khogar hua insan. When you try to succeed, you fall, but you rise again. Gham se khogar hua insan, to mit jata hai gham. Gham se khogar hua insan, to mit jata hai gham. मुश्किलें इतनी बड़ी मुझ पर कि आसान हो गई.
Thank you very much, Bobby. Thank you, Renu and Siraj. I'm not going to keep you too far away from your drinks. This is the last honor award. To give this award, I call upon the stage my close friend, civil engineer, project management company, and one of the again, after the most experienced engineer who has been in the industry for a long time, there are many hotels. May I call upon Mr. Indrajit Moitra to give this award. Thank you very much, Indrajit Moitra. The clapping should go on for him. Thank you. This award goes to one of my I'm sure my wife is going to complain about it or talk about it, but this award goes to a person who I have known since 1977 when I entered the college in Roorkee. And had it not been for him, I would have not got my architecture degree. So he was kind of, he taught me structures. One fine evening only for an hour, that too I was drinking and playing cards, and I was like 2 years junior. He went to his room and didn't know what he taught. He just wrote something on paper and said, mug it up. Whatever is the paper, just write the answers. So I just wrote answers and I got an A grade. So When I graduated, I asked him, what was your mantra? He said, you architects don't know anything about structures. So every year they gave us the same question. So you just write the same answer, whatever answer you write, you will get the grade. So that was the mantra. So like 80% of my projects have been designed by him. And not only mine, he's done some of the most amazing structural design in the country. Maximum number of hotels to any structural firm has been designed by him. His contribution to hotel industry cannot be forgotten or cannot go unnoticed. May I call upon to say Mr. Arvind Gupta to receive this award. Please. May I request Mr. Mitra to say a few words about Arvind Gupta? You worked with him on some projects, so you know him also.
Good evening, everybody, and it's really a great honor to be here. I really consider myself, I really didn't know that I had to come here and say a few words. Arvindji, we know for many years, we have been working together in many projects. And you all know that you are all hoteliers in the front. We are at the rear side. He designs and we build, and then we are out. Then no one remembers us. But only at the time of certification and others and costing, we are called. Otherwise, when I have just one incident, I used to work in ITDC. I started my career in ITDC. I joined ITDC in 1978. And we worked very hard for one project for Akbar renovation. And Akbar Hotel was inaugurated before time. We got special increments of 40 rupees and double increments for a year. But the inauguration day, as we were the project people, we were not invited, we were asked for you don't wear suits, you don't, as project engineers, we were not given suits. So the project people were not invited even in the lobby for this inauguration. Once the function was done, then the project people were called for the inauguration. But not in Ashoka, sir. I also worked in Ashoka, sir. So that's what. But I will now request Arvindji to come say a few words.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Anil. Thank you, Mr. Kaul, in giving me such an honor among all these stalwarts. I'm feeling too small in front of them. But still structural engineering is something like it's the backbone of any building. And my journey in hospitality, if I remember correctly, starts in 1985 or 86. When Anil, along with Raman, they were doing one small hotel in Imphal.
Yes.
That was probably our first hotel, and I don't know whether that was built or not, because after that, insurgency started in Manipur. And
if the structure was good, it would have been built.
I don't know. And then, of course, our first major project was holiday in Pune. I think that was first project for both of us, which was the first major project. So after that, of course, a lot of projects kept on going on. Maybe no more than half a century, more than 50 hotels we've done. And of course, there's always been fight also, because as an architect, all the architects don't want to see any beam, no column, just building with OG slabs and all. But one good thing about Anil, he understands the structure very well. Maybe I taught him. He understands the sizes, what sizes are required and all that. And that's a very good thing.
Thank you.
So, yeah. And in this particular also, in this banquet hall, there was a column earlier. And Dr. Kapoor called me, can you remove the column? Then I studied the whole thing. Fortunately, there's no building on top of that. So with retrofitting, I could remove that column. So this banquet hall became bigger. So it became bigger. Earlier it was smaller. Anyway, thank you very much for giving me this honor. I'm really honored. Thank you.
With that, we come to the end of our award ceremony. I think we are ready to hit the bar and food. So, thank you.